Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. I am Jen, the Caffeinated Crafter, and today is Saturday, November the 26th, 2022, and this is Flosstube number 26. The date and the Flosstube number match. Does that mean it's going to be a good Flosstube? I hope so. So yeah, Thanksgiving was 2 days ago. I hope everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving if you celebrate it, and if you don't, I hope you had a wonderful Thursday that day. I had a great Thanksgiving. I went to my mom's house. My kids were with their dad for Thanksgiving this year. But I went to my mom's, and it was me and her and my stepdad and my stepsister that just got married, and my stepbrother and his fiance and their daughter, who's about 1.5 years old. And yeah, we had a great time. Lots of food that was absolutely delicious. Like, it was a great day. It was a great day. I did not do any Black Friday shopping. Well, I did, actually. I bought some patterns. But I didn't print out the cover sheets. I'll have to, I'm not planning on, I have one because I started it. But I did not, I bought some patterns from the Cross Stitch Studio, and I got a couple from Pain Free Crafts and a couple from Heaven and Earth Designs. But I did not print out the cover photos. But that's okay. I'm not planning on starting them right now anyway. So it'll just be like, it'll just be like a surprise when I get to start them next year or something. I don't know. Or maybe I'll print them out and show you in the next video. Anyway. Okay, so this is a channel where I talk about my cross stitch. Hang on one second. Okay. Somebody was trying to call, but it was like an unknown number. I hate those. I forgot to put my phone on airplane mode. So anyway, all right. Jesus. This is a channel where I talk about my cross stitch. I do all kinds of things, big things, small things, everything in between. I start a lot of things. I rarely finish anything. I make fake plans because I make them and then I don't stick to them. It's just how I roll. So I'm doing an event on one of my Facebook groups called New Start November. So I have been doing a new start every day in the month of November. So I have all new starts to show you. And then we'll talk about my fake plans, the things that could potentially start the rest of the month, and then what I may or may not do in the month of December. Okay, so let me go ahead and get started. This is in no particular order because I'm not sure if this is the right order of when I started them. But you know what? It doesn't matter. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to show you is from Shannon Christine Design. This is Cup of Cheer. My lighting isn't the greatest. I keep blaming it on the weather because it's really cloudy out today, but I find that's actually better for when it's not super bright out. It's better for the color of the fabric, if that makes sense. Like when it's really bright and sunny out, it like washes out the color of the fabric if you have like a hand-dyed fabric or something. But my apartment is just like kind of dark. I don't know. Anyway. So anyway, this is Cup of Cheer from Shannon Christine Design. And I am stitching this on, oh poop, I took the sticker off and I didn't save it. I think this is a 14 count. No, I think it's a 16 count Aida in the color. I remember the color is called True Blue, which throws me off because it looks more like a gray, which is what I was going for. I was going for a gray, but it's called True Blue. I don't know. So that's where I'm at on that one. So this is the middle cup right here. And I was using this for a challenge where I had to do like a certain number of stitches. We were trying to like stitch a rainbow. So I did a certain, so I got my stitches in green and then I got them in red. And then by the time I was done, I was planning originally on jumping over here and getting the blue for the next color in the rainbow, but it was really late that night and I was like, I'm too tired. I'm not going to be able to get that many stitches in. So I stopped doing that and I came down here and started outlining this little gingerbread cookie. So that's where I'm at on that one. And y'all are going to have to bear with me on, how did I have this folded? Y'all gonna have, you know how you like, maybe it's because I just had it folded. You know how you like fold something a certain way so you try to like put it back into the folds? I couldn't figure out how I did it because it looked like it was like all like out of whack. Anyway, bear with me while I put this stuff back in bags and stuff because I've got like 13 projects to do. So I really like this pattern. It's not, I like the pattern. It's easy to stitch. It's just not the easiest pattern to read because this is how it's printed. So what I'm doing is I was trying to hold it back because I don't think anybody is really going to like screenshot it and zoom in and be able to see that because you can barely see it in person. So what I'm doing is the section I'm working on, I'm taking a picture of it with my phone and putting it on my Good Notes app so I can like zoom in and mark it off that way. All right, so there's that. Okay, and I do have some bags that I picked up on Amazon and I think I'll unzip them all. So I think we'll be okay regarding the zippers. So the next thing I'm going to show you is from Sugar Stitches. This is Cupid's Cafe. Isn't that cute? I am stitching this on a 28 count even weave, I think, and the color is some pink. I don't know. I'm going to start calling them mystery fabrics. I think that's what people do when they don't realize, when they don't remember who did their fabric. It's a 28 count mystery fabric in a pink color. So that's where I'm at on that. I got the body of the teapot. I got the body of the teapot done. The only thing I have left for the teapot is I need to do the lid up here. And then you can't see it very well, but there's a little white heart right there. I did that little heart because I was trying to get to a certain amount of stitches for the night for one of my groups. And I only needed like 10 stitches. And I was like, I didn't want to start a new pink thread and then have to like cut it off and everything because I was putting it away for the night. That heart was sitting right there and I was like, oh, perfect. So there's that one. And this has been really easy to stitch up too. I gotta get better about tracking. I track my stitches for my games, like, but I haven't been writing down the amount that I've been doing. I almost zipped that up. I've been writing down the amount I'm doing on them. I've just been doing it like in the game and then I forget. Okay, so this next one here is Gingerbread Smalls 2022 from Twin Peak Primitives. I am doing them, let me take it out of the plastic. I am doing them on one piece of fabric, if I measured it right, but I'm gonna finish them separate. I was debating on, I'm thinking I might do what they did. I might finish them in a pillow. That's if I actually finish them. I started this one here in the middle. See? I am doing this on a 28 count This one, so I picked this fabric up at Brick City Cross Stitch in Ocala when I went, and the part that I picked up had the piece that she cut off for me, it had the tag on it. I hope they didn't need this, but it is 28 count Lugana even weave in the color cornflower from Fiber on a Whim. But since it was like stapled on the edge, I kept it on there. But I had them cut me a 27 by 27 piece of fabric, because I figured out that each square I need like basically like a 8 by 8 or an 8 by 9. So I did a 9 by 9. So I'll have 3 going across, 3 going down. I'm folding this up so I can like show you a little bit better, but yeah. So that's where I'm at on that house. So that little swirly there will be white, like frosting. So there's that one. And then, shove that back in the bag. Okay, and then, okay. So the next one that I did was part of a set of 3. This is from Stitch Rovia. I plan on starting all 3 of them, but I started this one right here, Joy. And I'm doing this on a 14 count Aida, just a black Aida. And I think it's because, so I used to hate stitching on black Aida, despised it, right? And 2 of the patterns that I got called for like a black or a dark Aida. And I've discovered since, because I haven't stitched on a piece of black in a hot minute, but I have my magnifying lamp, and so I don't always use the magnifier, but I do always use the light part of it because I have old eyeballs. And so I have like my overhead light from my living room, which is not the greatest. I actually probably should get some new bulbs put in it, but I can't reach it to do the bulbs. So I put a work order in, so I live in an apartment. So I always put a work order in for them to replace the light bulb when it goes out. And they always put these cheap ass light bulbs. I wonder if I buy the light bulbs and put them on the table, if they would put those in for me. Maybe I'll do that. And then I have a lamp over here, and then my magnifying lamp that I usually have sitting here. I have it sitting back there right now to help with the lighting. But yeah, I have all those lights going on. So anyway, because I use the magnifying lamp, it's not that bad stitching on the darker fabric now. So, which is great for me for next year when you see my plans. Because one of my plans will include a piece of dark fabric. So anyway, that's where I'm at on Joy. I got a good amount of it done. I started in the middle and I got that whole section right there filled in, and then I came over here and I would start doing, I started going down this way, and then I came up here and got a little bit of this done. So I have to finish coming down in here to fill in the Y. And there's some colors down here that need to be filled in, but I think this is as far over as it goes. So yeah, that looks really cute. I like it. And it'll look a lot better once, it's funny because when I started stitching this, like when you're sitting there stitching, it's like, it doesn't look like anything. It's just all these random colors. Like I felt like I wasn't doing anything purposeful. You know what I mean? It just, I was like, why am I putting a red next to a yellow, next to a pink, next to a purple? Like this makes no sense. And then you step back and you look at it and it's like, oh, I So, so there's that one. And I'm gonna put this over here because I need that when I talk about my plans. All right. Oh, I forgot a bag. Okay. Sorry. Okay, so the next thing I did, or a thing I did, was a kit. I think I showed this maybe in my last video. I'm not entirely sure. But this is a little kit that I picked up. I think I showed it whatever video I was talking about Brick City, because I'd stopped at Hobby Lobby and I saw this. And I think I saw Night Fear stitching on this. So it says Merry Christmas. And I did a center start on it because it's a kit, so you know they give you next to nothing for the fabric. So I wanted to make sure I had enough. So I still have to backstitch the H, and there's 2 little stitches right here because this is an ornament that hangs down. So there's 2 little stitches right there that I have to do, and then do the back stitching on the H. But I'm waiting until I get to that color because I don't really want to cut a piece of thread off just for 2 stitches. So I'm waiting until I get to that color before I do those 2 stitches. But y'all, this, so you can't see, maybe if I do it like that, see the white right there? And there's like a really, really pale blue. This is a frosted cookie. Isn't that the cutest thing? It's gonna be a frosted cookie with little French knot sprinkles right there. Isn't that cute? So yeah. Oh, and the M is frosted too. So yeah. Okay. Let me put all this back in here. Should probably do this. Hang on one second. Bear with me. 1 moment, please. So there's that one. Oh, I forgot one more. Sorry. I thought I had gotten them all. My bad. Okay. This one here is from Little Robin Designs. This is Halloween Feather Tree. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. I got a decent amount done on this, I feel. But then you look at that urn and it's like, or whatever that's supposed to be. I think it's an urn. And it's like, no, I still got a lot to go. So this, I'm stitching this on a 28 count vintage Stormy Night. So it's a printed fabric. So if you ever get vintage Stormy Night, it's printed on one side, plain on the other. And I was all excited because it calls for fancy flosses, Gentle Arts, Weeks Dye Works, and Classic Color Works, right? And at first I'm like, I'm not getting all that. I'm just going to use DMC. Well, then I ended up getting it, okay? So I'm all kinds of excited because I'm going to use fancy flosses. And the only fancy flosses I have not caved and bought are things like Raven from Gentle Arts. It's black. And what's the other one for this one? Grits. It's white from Weeks Dye Works. I can't justify right now. I say, okay, I'm going to start saying if I'm going to say I can't do this or I can't do that, I'm going to start saying right now because because I end up caving and doing it. Like when I bought all these patterns, I was like, I'm not buying these fancy flosses. And then I bought them. So right now, I can't see myself buying a fancy black or a fancy white. I mean, it's black and white. I'll just use the DMC that I have. So anyway, I bought all these fancy flosses, right? And I'm all excited to use them. And then what's the first, and then I started in the middle, and what's the first thing I did? I had to stitch black. I'm like, so that's where I'm at. So I still have to do like the little feathers or whatever these things are on up here and then along this one. And I have to do, there's a candy corn right there. And then something over here, I don't know what it is. And then two more little, a witch's hat and another candy corn. And then I'll be coming down here. There's one more row that's gonna have a cat, a ghost, a candy corn. I think it's like some kind of ornament of some sort. I don't know what that is. And then down here will be the urn with a couple pumpkins and a witch's hat and one more cat head. That urn is going to be the death of me. And what she says about the urn, because it's a couple different colors, is she says, I don't know if anyone else is stitching this, but it says on the notes to stitch the highlights of the urn first, then stitch the rest of the urn, following the contours created by the outline and the highlights. So I guess that's how you get the good variegated effect on that. I don't know. I'm gonna do what she said though, when I get to it. Whoopsies. So, yeah, I got a lot of, it's funny, I had like no Halloween patterns, and then Market came and I bought a crap ton of Halloween patterns. So now I'm trying to start all the Halloween patterns. Which before, like up until like last year, the only holiday stuff I really stitched was Christmas. I should say started was Christmas. Yeah, these are definitely not in order because this next one I'm gonna show you, I did on Thursday. This was my Thanksgiving start. I'm gonna pull it out of the plastic. This is Fat Pants from Dirty Annie. Says, Happy Thanksgiving, get your fat pants ready. I needed my fat pants on Thursday. I was a dummy and I wore jeans. So, I am stitching this on a 16 count Aida in the color Dirty. And I got all, I wasn't gonna do the fancy flosses for this, but then I think when I was at Brick City, I ended up getting a couple of them. I did have to sub out, it called for Classic Colorworks Bean Sprout, which I think they didn't have, but it was a green color. So I subbed out this one that I did have, which was Little Sprout. I think the Bean Sprout might be like a little bit more of like a yellow green, but that's okay. Because it's being used on apples and a pilgrim hat and like a pie dish, like nothing that should be specifically that color. And then the other one I subbed out was the Gentle Art Bittersweet. They didn't have that one either, but I had another Gentle Art Fragrant Cloves, and it's an orange. So I got that. I had this one for another pattern, so I subbed that out. And then everything else, and then the chalk, again, I'm not buying white. I almost put this away without showing you what I did. Anyway, so chalk, I'm just using 3865. So I worked on this on Thanksgiving Day. I did a little bit over at my mom's house, and then I finished this up at home. That's where I'm at. So all those little motifs that are stitched are done. And there's a few more over here that I have to do on either side, and there's a border here and here, and of course the rest of it. But everything that's done is done. Isn't that cute? The colors may look a little bit off because of the lighting, because it's much, the stitching itself is a lot browner than what that shows. That looks almost like a gray and a black, but it's really brown. So there is that. And then, oh, so this next one I am doing is from Primrose Cottage Stitches. This is Halloween Letters. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. Fallen torch. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. I'm doing this on a 16 count Ada in the color Dirty. I'm on like a dirty kick right now. I did get the fancy flosses. See, this is what I'm saying. I was like, I'm not getting fancy flosses. And then I did. So these are the fancy purples right here. I haven't used this one yet. But this is Weeks Dye Works Amethyst and Classic Color Works Blooming Crocus. And then this is the fancy green Weeks Dye Works Moss. And again, the other two fancy ones are Coal and Whitewash. Right now, not doing it. So I'm using black and 3865, and then it calls for 3 DMCs. The other thing I got, which I have not done it yet, but I got this Petite Silk Lame. It's a glow-in-the-dark thread that I'm going to put, I think I'm going to, when I get to these little ghosts, I'm going to do the ghosts in that. Won't that be cute? It's going to be really cute. Okay, so I did have a little bit of a boo-boo with it. That's what happens when you stitch when you're really tired. So I left my thread hanging. So this is where I'm at with it, right? This is all fine, and this is all fine. But what I did was, look, you see how there's 4 stitches here, and there's only 3 up here. And the 4 is correct. So now that I'm looking at it, the 4 is correct down at the bottom. However, there should be one more up here, and this entire line right here should be over 1. Which means that the C is off. But what I'm thinking about doing is, but I didn't notice it until I got down here and realized that my C was going to go into the H. And I was like, what the hell? And then I started looking at the pattern and I'm like, well, shit. So what I'm thinking about doing, so I stopped and I was like, I'm done. I got to stop because I'm going to mess this up even more. And I hate frogging. I hate it. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to, because there's more white that has to come down here. And I think I might, instead of frogging, I think I might bring the white down and just cover that 4th stitch and just make it 3 and 3 and leave the C where it is. And then I don't have to frog. And I think it'll work because what I can do to keep everything in line, because if I do that and then I stitch exactly over, then this is going to be in one too far. So what I think I may do is I may do that, leave it the way it is, make sure this stays lined up to where it's supposed to be, and then maybe just extend the top leg of the T by one. I think if I just do it by one more, that will fix it. I might do that because I really don't want to pull all that out. So yeah, I think I can fix it without having to frog. But that's where I'm at. I like it. It's really cute. Stitcherista is stitching this too. But she is like almost, she's like got all this done. I think she's got all this and she's up here now. I think she still has to do this. But she's like a one pattern at a time person right now. I know she used to do multiple projects. But she's doing hers on a blue and it looks really good. I like it. So yeah. And then oh, so this is A Wonderful Time of the Year by Ursula Michael. It's really cute. I like it a lot. I'm doing this on a 28 count white opalescent, almost said Ada. It's not Ada. White opalescent, like even weave or something. I don't know. I just saw that it was 28 count, which I like. So for anyone who doesn't know what the difference, like what's the difference, because I'm doing it 28 count over 2. So it's the equivalent of 14 count. So some people are like, well, why don't you just do 14 count Ada? Because the even weave gets a more smoother appearance over the finished product, which is nice depending on what you're doing. Like sometimes I don't mind, you know, I'll stitch on both. But this particular pattern, I liked the smooth appearance because it looks like it's on snow. So that's where I'm at on that. And so the reason why I didn't finish out like the word going this way or anything is that's where I have my Q snap. So I was just trying to fill in where my Q snap was so I wouldn't have to move it. So that's where I'm at on that one. You see, you can see the sparkle this time. Look at that. See how sparkly it is? It's so pretty. All right. Okay, so I feel like I'm supposed to be keeping this out for some reason. Oh no, it's for January. Oh, did I pull jewelry stuff out? No, I didn't. Okay. All right. And then I got a few more patterns to show you that I started, and then we will talk about my fake plants. Okay, so next thing I'm going to show you is from the Cross Stitch Studio. This is From the Ashes. This is a crop of a much bigger piece. The artwork is by Abraham Hunter. This is what it's going to look like when it's done. This is 423 by 423. The bigger piece is like, I don't know, another quite a few hundred stitches in length and width. I am doing this, I think this is a 28 count, easy count Lugana, 1/1 full cross. This was a good stitching day for me. I got 1,200 stitches in. It looks like nothing to you. It is a blob of color to you. That's where I'm at on that. So yeah. Started in the top left corner. So hold on. Up here. That's where I'm at. So I got a ways to go before I get to the little bears. So there's that one. And then, oh, this is my other pattern that I started on a darker fabric. This is another Shannon Christine design. This is Autumn Favorites. So I didn't do this on black. I'm doing it on a 14 count chalkboard Ada. And let me show you one more time. And so it's funny because, I mean, it's kind of giving me the effect I wanted, but the, like, not really the effect I wanted. So I was doing it on the darker fabric because I liked how the colors popped on the design, right? But I'm doing a chalkboard color black instead of like a black. And so it's like almost, I feel like, I don't know how it's going to look on camera, but in person, the colors are almost like muted, like dusty, like they're literally on a chalkboard. Which, considering that I'm doing it on a chalkboard fabric, I guess that's fine. I'm trying to fold this up so that light isn't coming through because I don't have anything to put behind it. There we go. But you see what I mean? They're kind of like a dustier color because I'm doing the call for colors. But I think because of the color of the fabric, it's giving it that dustier appearance. I'm not really sure. But I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. Yeah. So there's that. So that part is almost done. I have to do the little berries. There's little berries over here that I have to do. And then that section should be completed. And then what I may do is I might go up here next. Possibly. I don't know. I may go up here and do this truck with the leaves, or I may, I don't know. I don't know if I want to do that or if I want to come down here and get some of these words done. I'm not really sure. We'll figure it out when I get back to it, which I think might be next month. I think. Talk about that in a little bit. Because we're about done. I got one more project to show. Ow. I think, did I give myself I feel like I gave myself a paper cut on my thumb. Yeah, so I got one more project to show. This is, so this is one of my Black Friday purchases. I have my tablet. The printout is not the greatest. It's from the Cross Stitch Studio, but I have it on my tablet. So let me just pull it up. One moment, please. This is called Peaceful Jaguar. It is a crop, and this is I think this is a limited edition pattern. So this is only available until, I think, December 18th of 2022. I think. I'm pretty sure. She has some patterns that are limited edition, and I think this is one of them. I could be wrong. I mean, this might be available to the end of time, and I'm like, oh no, you have to get it right now. But if you really like it, and you're watching this before December 18th, 2022, you best go get it because I think it's a limited edition pattern. Isn't that freaking awesome? Ah, God, that looks so good. I am super excited to like see this come to life. So I was able to start this because so I was saying earlier that I had bought all these patterns on the Black Friday sale, but I hadn't started them because I don't have fabric, right? And then I remembered I had a piece of fabric from October that I never used because I had like I either didn't calculate right or I had a snafu with the way I ordered the fabric or something. And I had a small piece of 32 count. And I say small, really, it's like a fat quarter, but small for the patterns that I do normally. But I did the math and I'm like, that's gonna fit. So I started it on 32 count, easy count Lugana, 2/1. No, 1/1, full cross. That is where I'm at on that. I'm drinking my coffee. All right, the cup's empty, so I'm done. So what I did with this one was I combined a couple different methods. Okay, so I know how much I was talking about before about how I have to do parking and everything like that, but I really didn't feel like doing that last night. I didn't feel like parking my threads. Now I'm choking. So what I did was I combined a couple different things. So this is the edges of the page. Like that's the bottom of a page. Their pages are smaller than other pages than pages of like a heaven and earth design, because they automatically do their patterns in like a large chart format for people with old eyeballs. But so their pages are smaller, so you get a page finish faster. But this is the edge here, and this is the bottom here. So what I did was I went up into the very tippy top corner up here, and I picked that symbol, and I'm doing cross country within the page. And then to select my next color, I'm just going up, and I'm going to so I've gotten like the first, let me get into the chart. I'm not going to show you the pattern, but, I've gotten the first 2 rows of that square completely done. And so when I go back, there is it's hard to see because it's 32 count. I use my magnifier for this. But there is one more square in row number 3. And then that I'll have to do. But I'm going to finish, as long as my pattern stays where it's at, I'm going to finish the color. There's 535, I think is the color I was on. And so I've got a few more stitches to fill in for that color. And then I'll come back up here. You can't even see it. There's maybe right there. Right there. I'll get that color. And, but yeah, so I'm color completing within like cross country, color completing within the page. I'm actually doing that on my big project, my million stitch project, Catching Rays. I'm doing color completing within the page on that one as well. And it was working for me. So I don't know. I may keep that going. I don't know. We'll see. But that's where I'm at on that. I got 1,000 stitches on this last night. I do remember that because it was like so not that long ago. All right, so those are all my starts that I've done. So if you were keeping count, which you should have been, but I am missing a start because I did not stitch one night. I got home, I think I was at work kind of late. I had to get home, make dinner for the kids. I had things I had to do. And I was just, by the time I was done and I was able to stitch, it was like 10 o'clock at night. And when my kids are in school, I got to be in bed by midnight at the latest, because I got to get up at like 6 o'clock to make sure that we're all up and getting ready for school and work. And so it's like, I can't be staying up till like 2 a.m. stitching. Like I have been the past couple of days because I haven't been working. So it's like by the time I was ready to stitch, it was like 10 p.m. Oh, I was getting some stuff prepped for one of my games. That's what it was. Some event stuff prepped. And yeah, I was just like, you know what? I'm done. I mean, you know, I ended up not stitching that night, which was so weird for me because I stitch something every single night. And the past 2, like, I think I didn't stitch on Halloween. I did not stitch the day of my sister's wedding. And then last Thursday, which was the 17th. I even stitched on Thanksgiving. But yeah, those 3 days, other than that, I have stitched every day except for like one day since March. I have been stitching every single day. So anyway, let's talk about my fake plants. Okay, so there are 4 days left in the month. Today's the 26th. 5 days. Counting today. That's what it is. 5 days. 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Yeah. So counting today, there's 5 days left. And I'm counting today because I haven't started stitching yet. It's my little goodie bag. So this is where I've been keeping all of my new starts. I got this bag from Barnes & Noble like 150 million years ago. It really wasn't that long. It was like within the past 4 years, because I was living in this apartment when I got it. Wasn't I? Yeah. I think I got it like 3 years ago at Barnes & Noble, and it was on clearance for like half off or something. It was on clearance because it was marked as a Christmas bag, and it was after Christmas. So yeah, and I was like, oh, this is nice. And it's so soft up here. Oh, it's so soft. It's like petting my cat's belly. Like, like really, really soft, like rose petals. Anyway, so I've been keeping my new start stuff in here. Okay, so I'm going to show you what I could potentially start in for the next 5 starts. So I'm going to keep pulling stuff out until I figure out what I'm doing here. Okay, so going back to this, I still have to start Hope and I have to start Love. Hope I'm going to do on the Love I'm going to do on this baby pink. It's not really showing up very well, but it's baby pink. It's pink in person. The lighting is making it look white, but it's pink. And then the Hope I'm going to do on a 28 count Monaco on this side. This side has the start of another stitch Rovia pattern. It's going to say creative minds are rarely tidy, but I'm scared to cut the fabric. I'm terrified to cut the fabric. What if I got it wrong? So I'm just going to put the Hope over here, and then I'll cut it when I'm done. But I'm trying to, when I'm storing all my whips, I'm trying to keep them sort of like by designer. So I have all my Stitch Rovia patterns in one bag. And so I'm not worried about like, losing the fabric or anything. But yeah, I'm going to put the Hope over here on this side. Because it's not super big. So there's that. And the next thing that I could potentially start is All Hallows Eve by Erica Michaels. I like the words and stuff. And I have some of the fancy flosses. This is from Weeks Dye Works. This is Sweet Potato and Whiskey. And I do not have the Garrison Green. No, I do. Where is it? What did I do with it? I think it's down in here somewhere. Do I have the Garrison Green? Maybe I don't. Anyway, grits. I don't have grits because that's white. Havana, I have to look and see what color it is. Mascara, I'm not getting because it's black. Onyx, I got to look and see what color that is. And Spanish Moss. But yeah, there's a few that I don't have. But that's okay. And you know, it's funny, like do I have the bag in here? I don't know. Anyway, so I don't know what I did, but you know, it's like I'm pulling this whole, I'm not getting all these fancy flosses, and then I go and I do. But I didn't get all of them. And I have flosses that I'm like, what the hell did I buy this for? Like I'm trying to put this pattern back in here. Yeah, I have flosses that I'm like, what the hell did I get this for? I was going through them the other night and I'm like I've got like this small pile of floss that I don't know what pattern it goes to. And then, yeah, I don't know what patterns they go to. Like, I don't think I picked them up just to pick them up because fancy flosses are expensive. That's not something I'm just going to buy spur of the moment just because I like it. You know what I mean? Anyway, so I will be doing this on a 32 count vintage Stormy Night 2/2. That'll be perfect. So that's one new start, or that's possible new start number 3. The next one, which I think I may do today, I definitely will do it by the end of the month. I was trying to save it for a day where I could get a lot of stitching time in. And so I thought it was going to be yesterday and it was not. But maybe it'll be today. It's almost 11. I might do it today because I got one more night of staying up late. This is from Glendon Place. This is Poltergeist Pirates. Let me take this out of the bag. There you go. Oh, it's still shiny. Ugh. I have the fabric that was dyed specifically for this pattern. That my LNS had it. And I had said this when I bought the pattern. This bag is like, it keeps wanting to lay on me and it's driving me crazy. So I think I told you this when, when I was showing all the stuff that I had gotten at my LNS, but I saw the pattern first and I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. And then I saw that it was, and I was looking at it and it was like, you know, it's got like this whole list of stuff. Like this is all, they give you a Sullivan, Anchor, and DMC. That's why this is so big. Sullivan, DMC, and Anchor. That way you can stitch whichever brand you want. But this is all DMC. These are silks. This one here is a glow in the dark, and then these are the buttons. And then it was telling you that it calls, this was stitched on a 28 count, bang, casual linen by Crossed Wing Collection. This is a brand new color developed specifically for this design. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool, right? Well, when I was at the fabric counter getting some fabric cut, you know, that name like stands out, right? And so I saw this in a bag on the counter and I'm like, wait a minute. And I was like, oh, this is the fabric for that pirate ship. And the lady that was getting my fabric marked so she could cut it, was like, yeah, it's up there. And she pointed up at the wall and I turned around, somebody had stitched it and it was hanging up on the wall and it looked so like, and I know you know what I'm talking about. Like, you know, you see a piece, I hear it a lot about like mirabilias. It's like you see the pattern, you're like, oh, that's not bad. And then you see it stitched in person and it's like, holy shit. Like, right? That's what it was like for this. Like, this is not something that I would really normally stitch. But it looks so good. And they had the fabric. And they had a button pack. And Jean was freaking awesome because she was like, well, this does call for silks. And I can order them for you. But it's going to be like $50. And I was like, she said, or you can just look and see where the silk goes. And look at the color and pick a DMC. I was like, I'm going to do that. So I got to do a conversion for the silks for some DMC. Because I'm not spending another $50 on that. But this is the button pack right here. Look at all the little skulls. And then I got the glow in the dark. And I haven't looked, but I think the glow in the dark is going to be the skeletons. Like the little skeleton parrot and the skeleton pirate. I think that's what the glow in the dark is going to be. I'm not sure. I haven't looked yet. And then, like I said, I'll be stitching it on the... Oh, it's going to look so good. Oh, I got to place it right. Oh. So I'm going to do it. So I think I'm going to do it like this. So that, because the bleach spots look like stars. So I got to make sure that I start it right so that this is not, because I don't want to do it like that. That's going to make it weird. I got to do it like this. I'm going to start this today. after looking at the fabric, I'm like, oh, I'm going to start this today. So yeah. All right, so let me just do this because I'm gonna do that today. All right. Another thing that I can start, which I probably should, because I have 2 kids, and anyone that has more than 1 child will understand what I'm about to say. The Harry Potter Stitch Your Own Adventure from Cunning Cross Stitch. Where is it? Oh, it's the last page to make my life easier. This is the like the prequel. This is what so this is a Stitch Your Own Adventure from 2020. It was a free sale because Stuart is freaking amazing. And I will discuss more of it as I do it. But if you do a search, oh God, what's his Facebook group name? I don't remember, but what I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna link his website because it's on his website now. I'm gonna link his website down below in the description box. If you're a fan of Harry Potter and if you're a fan of those choose your own adventure books, you need to get this pattern because it's amazing. I don't even have like a finished product to show you because you're going to see like all 3 of mine are going to be different. But I have one started for myself that I started in 2020 and I have like, I think I have the dark part of the first parchment done. I still have to fill in the rest. And then the last time I started everything, what was that? September. I started one for my older son. I have fabric to start one for my younger son. I probably should make this a must-have because my plans for 2023 are going to be to not start something unless I finish something. And you know how kids are. Oh, you have one for my brother, but not for me? Oh, I want one. How come I don't have one? Oh, that's not fair. I want that one. So, you know how kids can be. So, I think I need to make this a priority. But this was the first release, the very first release. And, there's, you know, people were putting in some, oh, what was the word he wanted us to use? Like, not really modifications, alterations, creative licensing. I'm not really sure, but basically, and he said he is working on another Stitch Your Own Adventure. And, he's working on another Stitch Your Own Adventure. And this pattern will come down once that one goes up. It's not ready yet. I don't think it's going to, unless he makes a big announcement, like in the next like couple weeks, I don't think it's going to be ready for 2023. He said he's still researching chapter 5. I don't know. He won't even tell us what it's about. I'm really excited though. But every parchment, like everybody's is different because this is the house flag and this is Quidditch. And then it's like your Patronus is over here or down. Anyway, there's all these different things. There's one for the classes that you take, but he gives you this backstory and then you pick, like with the classes, I think you pick what class you want to attend, like Defense Against the Dark Arts or potions or something like that. Like there's this one where some people have like tea leaves and some have runes and somebody else has something else. I want to say this one down here is where you pick your class because some people had like the woods for the Defense Against the, or Care of Magical Creatures class or something like that. So anyway, it's really, really cool. And so I think this will probably be on my definitely must start list because I would like to get all 3 of us have one made. And I need to get on his website and download all the patterns. But what I will say is this is the introduction. That's what it is. Introduction. This is the introduction. And did I print the entire thing or what did I print? Because you basically, like if you, yeah, this is the introduction. And up here, there's going to be a wand. And what you're supposed to do for your wand is you're supposed to roll a die and yeah. You're supposed to roll a die and that's how you pick your wand. I think it tells you to, yeah, the first roll. Oh, here we go. The first roll will determine what wood you use. So you get a D6, what 6-sided die, and you roll it, and the first roll tells you what type of wood you're gonna, which basically tells you what your colors are gonna be, right? And then roll number 2 determines that, and roll number 3 determines that, like the shaft and the handle of your wand. And I can show you this because it's not the actual pattern, it's a mock-up. So I think what I might do, the change I'm going to do with my wand is I don't think I'm going to do the dice roll. I think I'm just going to stitch it in the 4140 because I think I have it and I really like it. So I think I'm just going to do that. So anyway, so I think this is going to be on my, I'm going to put this over here because I think this will be my must do. And I'm just doing this on a 16 count ivory Ada, a really big one. This is a potential start. That's today. That's a definite. Okay, so the next few things I could potentially start are, is this Mill Hill kit. It's a buttons and beads kit. This is their spring series. Honeybee. I've seen a few people stitching it. It's really cute. And the other Mill Hill kit I have is from their autumn series, and this is a pumpkin. Enchanted pumpkin. I just saw I'm over an hour and I'm back to my old self again. That's fabric. Okay, so the next potential start I could have is from Kitty and Me Designs by Pamela Kellogg. This is Morning Glory. And I would be doing this on a 16 count Ada, dirty Ada. Which the color that's called for the fabric is actually dirty. It's a 28, but theirs is a 28 count over 2 in the color dirty. And I think one of the reasons I had delayed starting this was because all that white is done in a white Kreinik. And I thought I had picked up a petite treasure braid to do in white instead. And then I couldn't find it for the longest time. Well, look what I just found the other day. I'm like, oh, well, I guess I could start it now. So that's another potential start. Another potential start is the other mandala that I have from Kitty and Me. This is Sunflower Mandala. And I'm going to sub out the gold outline on here is Kreinik Antique Gold. And I'm going to sub out that. And I'll be doing that on a 28 count white Monica. And there are some satin stitches in this piece. I think the flowers and the leaves are all satin stitch. That's gonna be fun. But other than this, it's all DMC. Oh, but here, look, this bag right here, the names are like super familiar. Like I feel like I was looking at them and I got them for a reason, but I don't know what I got them for. Those are my extra fancy flosses that I cannot figure out for the life of me why I have them. So anyway, that's another potential start. And then my cabinet of curiosities. This was from Stitchonomy. This was her Halloween thing. I have it all printed out. I have not started it yet. I was trying to see. I don't have a mock-up of it printed, but that's the outline of it, and it looks really cute when you see photos of it online. I would be doing this. I think I figured out I could just do this on a roll of Aida. Like a small roll of Aida, because it's not a super big pattern, and I was going to do it on that. It's like a mix of like pinks and yellows and like maybe like a light brown or something. It's hard to see. It looks like dog pee when you look at it right here. That's what it looks like, dog pee. But anyway, and then, oh yeah. So another potential new start I have is Sea Turtle from Stitching Jewels Designs, who BTW is having a Black Friday sale this weekend, and she's got some new patterns. I'm going to link her shop down below. But she is having a sale this weekend, the weekend after Thanksgiving of 2022, in case you're watching this in the future. But Sea Turtle monochrome. And I will be doing this on a piece of picture this plus 18 count Aida in the color Coastal. And what I'm going to be doing, I'm not unfolding it all the way, but what I will be doing is I'm going to be picking out maybe 3 to 4 shades of gray and doing it kind of like a ombre effect instead of doing it in all black. I think that'll look nifty. So there's another potential new start. I just got a few more. I don't know what I did with the... This is a terrible printout, but I had gotten these little potion bottles from Maya Stitch. And it's a terrible printout. They're really cute. And I don't know what fabric I was going to do them on, because I have a fabric for everything except this. Well, I guess I won't start these yet. I'm going to save these for later, so we're just going to put those aside. So the last 2 potential new starts I have, this one is from Cross Stitch for Everyone. I think this was a free pattern I got from her like 150 million years ago. Ho, ho, ho. I should do this and give it to my best friend. She always calls me a hoe. All in love. All in love. I will be doing this on a 14 count silver white Ada that I picked up from Hobby Lobby. I know people talk shit about Hobby Lobby because what they believe in and stuff. And I don't shop there all that much because it's like 45 minutes away. But their cross-stitch selection is so much better than Joann's and Michael's. So if I do have a chance, yes, I'm going to shop there. And if you don't like it, too bad, so sad. It's not your money. Anyway, so yeah. So I'll be putting that on that. That's really cute. I kind of want to start that. And then the last one I could potentially start is from Peppermint Purple. I've had this pattern for 150 million years as well. This is Sunny Waves. It's a black work pattern. And I will be doing this on a 14 count plain white Ada. 14 count? Yeah, 14 count. I really want to start this one too. That's not the best printout. My ink is like not the greatest. But I've had this pattern for 2 years now and I haven't started it, and I love her designs and I don't do any of them, but I love them. So I have 5 days to pick patterns, and we're not going to do that one, but I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Oh, nope. Here we go. I found it. It was mixed in with my buttons and beads stuff because I have a couple of 14 count Adas in vintage oatmeal that I was going to do these potion bottles on. I want to start all of these, but I only have 5 days left. Maybe what I will do is maybe I will spend the day today. I don't like doing that though. I was gonna say maybe I'll spend the day today putting in 100 stitches. Or maybe 200 or 300 depending on my prompts. But maybe I won't, because normally what I do is I pick one project to work on for the entire day of my stitching time. Like I don't like changing whips out in the middle of the day because of all the games I'm in. It drives me bananas because I have to post start photos, which I have to post start photos and stop photos, right? I'm like trying to put my stuff away while I'm talking to you. I have to post start photos and stop photos, and it's a bit of a pain in the ass when you have so many. Like before, I got into this like freaking wormhole of games on Facebook. You know, it was only like 1 game, maybe 2, and I was like, no big deal. I don't mind, you know, I could potentially switch projects. But now I'm in like 16 games. All of them have at least 2 things going on in each game, I feel like. Maybe, you know, 1 to 2 things minimum in each game. And it's like, that's a lot of photos to post. That's why I got thrown in Facebook jail, because I was posting so much. Anyway. So those are my potential new starts that I've either got to squeeze in before the end of the month or pick my favorites. I know I'm definitely doing that pirate ship. Pick my favorites and save the rest of them. And the reason, and maybe start some in December if I'm able to before my restriction starts. Which I will talk about that in a future video maybe, or maybe I'll start talking about it now. But December I get to go back to my whips, so I'm excited about that because I want to get some progress on my pieces. I am currently sitting at 113 whips. 113. That's a lot. It is a lot. And I am aware that it's a lot. Like, I'm okay with it, but I would like to see some finishes because I stitch so much. Like, I should have more things done. And I could if I focused on stuff, but I have a hard time doing that. But what I did was I made a list. I made a packet, and my games that I know I have a lot of events coming up in December and January. Oh, I'm hungry. My games that I have stuff coming up in December and January, I went through the events and I basically kind of like with the extreme cross stitching. This is a group for people who stitch a lot, like that, but it can be on anything. It'd be small stuff, big stuff, whatever. I'm also in Full Coverage Fanatics, and that is kind of like extreme cross stitching, but it's full coverage stuff. Extreme cross stitching does not have to be full coverage. It's just a lot of stitching. It's for people who stitch a lot. Like, it's not a group for someone who does like maybe 100 stitches a day. Because their goals are like the supersized Sal December. It's not really a stitch along that there's a pattern for. It's that we're all picking our own project. It has to be, she gave the requirements. I think it has to be like at least 400 by 400 or something like that. And your goal will be to either stitch 1% or 5,000 stitches, whichever one you want, in the month of December. So, you know, so stuff like that. So I basically kind of wrote down what the event was, what the prompt was, and I spent a good portion of the day yesterday going through. So I did that in a lot of the games that I'm in. So I went through and I figured out what I will need to be doing, in the month of December and in the month of January. So for that event, I decided to put in 5,000 stitches on Patchwork Quilt Room. And so what I'm going to do, so I have, right now, I have a starting amount of I bumped it up to 800. I was like, I have a starting amount of 796, but I was really tired and I didn't want to do like 4 stitches. So I think I just put 800 in my group. So I just rounded up. But anyway, shh. If you're in charge of a group I'm in, don't pay attention to what I just said. But anyway, so my starting amount is 796. So my goal will be to get this to 5,800. That will be my goal for the month of December. So again, that's Patchwork Quilt Room. So let me see here. So let's see. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. What's 100 times 100? Is that 1,000? I think that's 1,000. Yeah. Wow. No. 10,000. 10. Anyway, I can't math. I used to be really good at it. So anyway, yeah, so I'll hopefully maybe get this big chunk right here done. But yeah, so my goal will be to get 5,000 stitches on that one for the month of December. And then let me see, my other challenges in there for the month of December, those are just whatever whips I happen to be working on. I'm going to zip that up. And then in another group, this one isn't a counted stitch along. This one is just a, hey, stitch on a Christmas related whip. So I am going to be using this Checking the List from Charting Creations. I'll be working on that in the month of December. And it's non-counting, so, but I'm also using this as a December focus challenge in that same group. I'm using it for 2 events, and I can post every 1,000 stitches so that I can get a ticket into a raffle, I think is what they're for. So so one of them is a non-counting. The other one, if I can at least get to 1,000, I'll be happy. So that's like, so if I say a goal of 1,000, that's like 6,000 so far between this one and the Patchwork Quilt Room. And let me just check real quick. Those are for January. I'll talk about my January plans next month. Is there anything else in December? Oh yeah. So one more that I have specifically for an event is Fairy Tale Cottage. The prompt for this was eras in history, and I mean they're pretty lenient with their stuff. As long as you can tie it in somehow, they'll take it. So their suggestions were futuristic / fantasy scenes, computer's newest chart or newest start. Well, this is Fairy Tale Cottage. I'm calling so I said that it was a fantasy scene. I know this is not really the fantasy that they were going for, but I don't care. That's how I'm tying it in, because that's what I want to do. So I'm just showing you what my starting point is. There's not like a set amount that they want you to do, so it's basically just, you know, whatever you can do. So this is where I'm at on that one. These are all waste threads that I have to get rid of as I'm working my way down. I'm going to cut those off because they're driving me crazy. That's where I'm at on that. So yeah. The others that I have slotted to work on in the month of December, they are for another game. And let me make sure I have them pulled up. Where am I at? They're going to be for another game. I'm terrible about staying with these games, so I'm not really sure. So all the ones that I just showed you are going to be in this game. Basically, it's called Whip Wranglers. And basically, you have a list of 20 whips. And does Melissa do the dice roll? I think my friend Melissa is actually hosting the game. It's in Semi-Sane Stitchers. But we have our whips listed 1 to 20, and I think she does the spin every day. And they're supposed to be naughty little elves that you have to like stitch to get to go back to the North Pole. So it's just something silly that we're doing for December, and it sounds like it's going to be fun. So all the ones I showed you are the first few, and then let me see. From the Ashes and Autumn. Oh, now that I showed you, I can pull them out. Oh, good. So this one is going to be one. And this one is going to be one. I basically looked through my whip album at what I had started already, and I just picked ones that I wanted to work on. Because there's no, you just need to pick some. So let me put those over there. And then, oh, I don't have the... So this is, I don't have a printout. This is where I'm at with this one, and I'll show you the first one back here. Grinch Gnome. from Maya Stitch. That will be one. Ocean ABC, and I'm going to be doing the medium level. So basically that means, oh, there's going to be 2 dice rolls. I got to look at the rules again. Maybe, is she doing it or are we doing it? There's 2 dice rolls. The first one is going to be a D20. So you pick, so it's going to pick which whip. I think she's doing it. D20, and then you're, so you roll that to find out which one you're doing. And then you roll a D6 to find out how many stitches you need. And the easy is whatever roll that is, you cut that in half. Like multiply by 100 and then cut in half. So if you roll a 3, multiply it by 100, you get 300. And then you cut it in half, and so you have to do 150. And then medium is you just multiply that by 100, and so medium would be 300. And then I think the insane version is you double it. So it would be 600, I think. I don't remember. Anyway, I'm doing the medium. I'm just going to multiply the dice roll by 100, and then do that. So this will be another one that goes into that little whip wrangler game, Ocean ABC. And I'm showing you where I'm at with them because I haven't pulled these out in so long. That's where I'm at on that. So this block and this block are completely done. Yeah. Those are completely done. And I went down here to flip-flop. I don't have a printout of this one either. Hold it back here. Peacock Gnome from Maya Stitch. Make sure I show you the right way. That's where I'm at on that. That's the top of his, or the brim, whatever, that goes on his forehead. It's his hat. Is that one of them? I lied. That's not one of them. Oh, yeah, no, it is. It is. I'm kidding. I lied again. Then the next 2, oh, I forgot to unzip that. The next 2 are going to be my stockings. Stop it. Both of these stockings are from Heaven and Earth Designs. This one is the Enchanted Reindeer, and this is by Alan Giana, and they're for my kids. I don't know which one is getting which one yet. I mean, hell, I gotta finish these things first. That's where I'm at on that. And then the other one, if I remember, what I think I might start doing is, oh no, I lied. The Reindeer is by Donna Gelsinger. The other stocking is from Alan Giana, The Falling Snow. That's that one. So if I remember, I think what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to, at the beginning of the month, I'm going to write down my starting point, like my number of stitches and my percentage that I'm at, because I forget. Because I don't like to edit the video, so you're not going to see it before, so it's like, I don't know. That's where I'm at on that one. Last time I worked on it, I was working up there. So, there's that. Those are 2 more. I should have been counting these. Are all these? Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Okay. So the next one that's going to be on the list for whip wranglers is White Tiger Ghost. This is from Cross Stitch Studio. It's a long video. That's where I'm at on that. That was one of my new starts for the month of November. You know what? I don't care that it's a long video. I like the long videos. I just put it on and I start stitching and I'm a happy camper. The next one will be Christmas Rules. I showed you this in the last video because this was another start for the month of November. That's where I'm at on that one. And then another one that I'm going to do is Day to Night Africa. And that is where I'm at on that. That was, I think, another start for November. Yeah. So my plan is going to be to actually get some work done on all of these projects. We'll see. Oh. Yeah, we'll see how long I stick with this game. What I might do is I might do the required amount for the day for that. And depending on how much it is, bounce back over to my other ones. Because I got to get 6,000 stitches in on those at least. 5,000 on the one and then 1,000 on the other. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Another piece is going to be Mini Sunset Lighthouse. This is a Heaven and Earth Design mini pattern. And I haven't pulled this one out in a long time. This is where I'm at. That's where I'm at on that one. It's a mini, but it looks huge because I'm doing it in a 14 count Aida because it fit. And then the next one will be James Dean. And like I said, she's going to do a D20 and spin the wheel every day. Oh, that's right. I started this on the fabric in the incorrect orientation, but it's still going to fit, so it's okay. That's where I'm at on that. He looks like an alien. He went from looking like a bald man to now he looks like he is an alien head. So I'm hoping the next time I bust him out, I can come in and start filling in his hair so he looks more normal, because he definitely does not look like an alien in this photo. This is from Stitching Jules Design. I really need to get that done because she sent me that to do specifically to show, like it was kind of like a tit for tat thing. She sent me the pattern to do and she would shout me out on her channel, and she'd be getting some advertisement for her channel or for her store and everything, which I mean, I totally am, but sorry, Jules, if you're watching, it's taken me forever, but you see how I am. But I did get 2 of my friends to buy a crap ton of stuff from you. What am I looking for? Oh, the next one is Springtime Splendor from Heaven and Earth Designs, artwork by Randall Spangler. And oh my God. That's where I'm at. So I started in the middle because of the way the fabric was. I was worried about having enough space. And I worked my way over to the edge. And so the last time I worked on it, that's what I was doing. Yeah. So. And then another piece will be Birdhouse Gardens. And that's where I'm at on that one. Right? Birdhouse Gardens? Yeah. Birdhouse Gardens. The next piece will be Compass by Maya Stitch. And let me make sure I'm showing you the right way. Oopsies. That's where I'm at on that. And the last one is Steampunk Sewing Machine from Maya Stitch. I have the Steampunk coffee grinder too that I want to start. But that's what that's going to look like. Isn't that badass? And it's kind of a full coverage in a way, so I didn't want to do it on any like pretty fabric. I'm just trying to make sure I show you the right way. I think it's like this. I'll be excited to get this one back out because I was really enjoying this one. I think it's like that. So there's that. So yeah, so those are the 20 pieces that I want to work on in the month of December. And only 2 of those, well, really, honestly, only one of them really has like a set goal. The other one I'm hoping to get, so the checking the list one is the one that I'm doing for the non-counting stitch along for the month of December. And then the December focus challenge. Oh, I should have changed it. I should have done Patchwork Quilt Room. Whatever. Anyway. So I'm trying to let these prompts for these games kind of guide me as to what I work on, which will be really nice because I was looking ahead to January as well. And in one of the games, they're going to be doing an acrostic. And that's where you like have a phrase, and like in our world, in our cross stitching world, they give you a phrase and then you have to match a whip to the letter in that word or that phrase. So this game, it's oh my god, they changed it because they just changed the admin. Alara was actually talking about this game in her last video too. It used to be Survival of the Stitchiest. Now I think it's, I don't remember what they changed the name to, but because I just go in and I do my event. But they're doing an individual monthly challenge, and she gives you a creature, and you have to, and the name of the creature is the acrostic. And so in the month of January, it's, I don't know how to say it, N-U-C-K-E-L, like Nucleavy. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's some mythological sea creature that was like horrible looking. Nucleavee. So what I did was, even though we're not to January yet, I went ahead and I picked out whips to go with everything, right? And she had February's up as well. So I went ahead and picked out my February whips. But in January, I have a few. So what I tried to do was the ones that I knew I was going to be working on, I tried to tie those into the acrostic first. And then, which I will pull these out before January, so I'll show you what I will be working on. But one of the E's in the word I was going through my whip album that I have all my whips in, and I'm going to actually pull out one of my really old dimensions kits to work on this acrostic for one of the letters. And I was like, oh, look at that. So it's like I'm not just working on all my new stuff. And did I do that in the other one too? February, I'm pulling out one of my old ones. Yeah. So it'll be kind of nice because this will kind of help me get some work done on my old stuff. But yeah, I'm really hoping that I can get a lot of finishes. I do want to, I'm hoping I can get some finishes on my bigger things because there's some full coverage pieces that I want to start, but I'm going to try to be good and not do that. Like, unless I finish something that's in that category of big stuff. I will be doing a normal floss tube in a couple weeks, and then I will be doing probably a whip parade, an end of year recap and whip parade. The next one after that. That's going to be a long ass video because I will be showing at that point 118 whips. That's a lot. That is a lot. Yeah, 118 whips because I know I won't have it finished before that, and I'll be starting 5 more things. So that's going to be a long video. Anyway, I think that's all I have to say. We're sitting at 1 hour and 40 minutes. I had a lot to say, and I had a lot to show. So if you're still watching, I'd like to thank you so much for joining me. I didn't say this at the beginning of the video. If you're new to my channel, welcome. But yeah, if you're still watching, thank you so much for watching. And if you are not subscribed yet, then go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below and the bell to be notified whenever I post a new video. And yeah, that's it. So stay safe, happy stitching, and I will see you in my next video. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.